Have you ever played sports either in or outside of school?
Do you worry about being healthy and having a good career?
Do you worry that your athletic friends are involved in crime?
This is Keri and John, debating whether or not sports keeps teens out of trouble. We both have done extensive research and have taken many sources to prove our points. All of us could be subjected to any of these following issues regarding teens and trouble, which is why this issue should be debated.
Sports definitely do not keep teens out of trouble. Kids who participate in sports are more likely to participate in performance-enhancing drugs and recreational drugs and alcohol. As kids grow older, statistics show that they are more likely to join sports. At the same time, other statistics show that kids are similarly more likely to use drugs and alcohol. While sports may keep you physically fit, drugs can affect your brain and seriously inhibit your ability to do work later on in life.
Sports actually do reduce the number of teens out of trouble, as students have something to do after school instead of turning to other activities that would be detrimental to their health in future. Teens are also very prone to be extremely stressed out all the time from school, their friends, family, and many more pressures placed on them. Exercise and playing recreational sports therefore are a much better alternative, rather than choosing over other illicit activities as a way to relieve stress. Statistics show that teens are more likely to fare better in being more active than those that do not, as shown in this picture.
It would be more convincing if I couldn't prove that your sources aren't credible. For example, your first source, the Sustainable Chicago Sports Project, does not use a wide enough range of data. It focuses on the effect of sports on kids in only urban cities with previously high crime rates, and not on the effect of sports on youth in general.
That may be the case, but it does provide a good example as a worst-case scenario situation. It gives a general idea as to providing solutions and examples of how organizations that promote sports positively influence the teens of those areas where help is prevalent. In the article, the example of Chicago is given, based on factors such as graduation rates, unemployment rates, and juvenile justice incarceration, as stated by Caitlin Picciarolo-Stoser. Your first source does provide a lot of insight into the many risks that comes with teen athletes and substance abuse. However, the article from the Right Step does not provide a lot of data pertaining to the relation between teens and trouble. It just lays out the possibilities of teens that are or would be abusing drugs to an extent that it is hurtful to them, not the ones that do not use drugs.
Seeing as how the focus is on that of teens that do use drugs, I do not think that has much of an effect on the relevant data. While it might be useful to know about teens that do not get into trouble in order to compare them against teens who do, I do not believe that this negates the value of the source. Your second source, a St. Louis news website, focuses a lot on sports, and being a news website, it is more likely to say what its audience wants it to hear rather than the true facts. And St. Louis, as well as the rest of Missouri, is particularly sports focused, which makes the likelihood of the news station lying about facts that make sports look bad more likely.
The source is a news site, and we cannot be 100% sure as to how credible the author of the article is, but it provides statistical support for the benefits of youth sports programs in the area specifically. It does not actually focus a lot on how bad sports may be for teens, but rather the positive outcomes within its city. For example, creating these programs led to a 29% drop in crime in the targeted neighborhoods and a citywide reduction in violent crime. Your second source by Mayo Clinic does not provide information regarding who exactly wrote the article. It is said that they are physicians, scientists, and medical experts, but we do not know whether or not they actually have the knowledge. It does give reason in that sports may lead teens into believing that they need the drugs in order to make a team or be competitive, but it focuses more on the idea of body image leading to teens taking these drugs.
Body image and physical activity often, while not always, go together. Many body image disorders, as we have learned about in school and as a widely accepted notion, cause people to over-exercise in an unhealthy manner. So while my source doesn't talk about the two in a completely intertwined way, it does show the correlation between the two and troubled teens. Your third source, the American Psychological Association, is not the most credible source. It is made up of anyone who has a membership, including students. Your source also focuses on how exercise affects people positively in a mental capacity, but then does not show the correlation between that and keeping children out of trouble.
A great way to relieve this stress is through exercise, as 68% of teens who exercise or engage in physical activity to manage stress say it is extremely or very effective. People, especially teens, who are less stressed are reportedly more likely to keep out of trouble and resort to other means to do so, such as smoking, drinking, or doing drugs. So who do you think is right? Do sports help teens?
Or lead them to crime.